This video is about gradational processes, and today we're going to look at just how waves can transform the lithosphere. In the previous video that I put up, we talked about fluvial processes or rivers. Today we're just going to look at waves. So when we talk about waves, there are tons of different types of waves. We've got sea waves, we've got tidal waves, tsunami waves. Today, we're going to be looking at sea waves. Now, there are two main types of sea waves. Those sea waves we categorize into destructive waves, and this is where waves break up the coastline, normally during storm times. And then the other type of wave is constructive waves. This is when waves have material in them, such as sand, such as stone, pebbles, and then they dump them onto the beach or a platform, and they actually create new parts of the lithosphere. So sea waves can be two types: constructive and destructive. Now, we know by looking at the material that's on beaches or on cliffs by seas that coasts take a long time to form. So our coastline has been affected over a long period of time, and a lot of the change that happens is very gradual. That's why we're looking at this section. We're not really looking at the tectonic activity, we're looking at that gradual sort of change. Obviously, when we get big storms, that's when we have large amounts of change. As you can see in this picture, this is a Buddy National Park. You can see that we've had some evidence of coastal change. So yeah, that's what we're looking at when we talk about landscapes formed by water. You can see we've got some outcrops of rock, we've got some bays here, we've got some headlands, and that's what we're going to look at now. So let's start looking at some features created by erosion. So we've got a picture here, again from the Buddy National Park on the Central Coast. This is called a rock platform. You can see we've got a flat bit of rock where the water has carved those, almost looks like squares, looks like a pavement, and then beyond that we've got some broken up rock. This is called a platform, and this was formed by erosion. So maybe 10, 20, even 50,000 years ago, if we were standing in this place, the edge of the cliffs would be a lot further out to sea. The reason why this rock is still here, it's hard rock. The rock that was above it, the cliff face, has been eroded into the sea by these waves. So that's what we talk about by erosional processes creating landforms. Obviously the material has been taken away, the cliff face, and what we're left with now is what's called a rock platform. So this type of landform is created by erosion and by the waves pounding against the cliff day in, day out, breaking down that rock. We've got chemicals within the water, in the rock, in the minerals, reacting with the seawater. So that's an erosional process. This picture shows Maitland Bay, again on the Central Coast, and as you can see, we've got a lovely beach. Now, this is a landform created by deposition as well as transportation. First of all, I'll tell you how this is created. So a beach is basically made up of material that's come from elsewhere. So the sand would have been part of that landform of the rock platform that we saw on the last slide. As the waves have moved, they've beaten the rock into this fine material called sand, and then that sand has been transported by waves and dumped onto this place here. So transportation is the movement, deposition is the dropping down of material. So this beach has been formed by deposition. Okay, that's one big movement of sand, and it's been dropped here. Now, another process that we can attribute to waves is transportation. Now, we can't see it on this beach, but we can when we have like a pebbly beach. Towards one side of the beach, you normally have bigger angular rocks with sharp points. Towards the other end of the beach, the material gets broken down and turned into smoother, smaller pebbles. The process in which that happens is called longshore drift. This happens on sand beaches as well. We see sand being moved from one part of the beach to another. It can be quite catastrophic in the sense that if there's a big storm, parts of the beach can be eroded away and transported to different places. But that general day-to-day, that gradual process, longshore drift, happens all the time, and that's transportation. That's the biggest form of transportation. So when we look at sea waves, we look at constructive, destructive waves. Destructives, obviously something like that erosional platform formation where we have those rock platforms being broken up. The constructive waves are the transportation and deposition of material. Now remember, this sand has taken many years to happen, so this beach has been in existence for a long time. We might see younger beaches which are pebbles, which then indicate the age of the beach as well. So that indicates that it hasn't been there for a long time. Okay, so recapping what we've learned what erosion, deposition and transportation are, and we've learned that waves, the sea waves, those two different types of waves, have helped create as well as destroy coasts. So that's another way in which the lithosphere is broken down and moved and transported. Okay, that's the end of the video. I hope you got a lot out of that. I hope you understand a bit more about processes that happen in the lithosphere. Remember, it'd be great if you could like, share my video, and definitely subscribe to my channel. Big shout out to my my year 11 students. Keep working hard, keep listening to the videos, and thanks for your support. Thanks, bye.